Welcome everyone to another Chess Lifestyle stream. Very late night degenerate stream incoming. I had so much to do and I am finally free of those commitments, so we can finally get to streaming. Let's just say that. And I also just finished dinner and I had some really good spicy instant noodles, so still digesting, not ready to talk to potential human beings. So without further ado, let's get into some training, and welcome Josh to the stream. Glad you can join me here on this day. And there are 23 more intermediate exercises to go. Yeah, we're definitely not finishing this chapter in this stream unless we go on a real mad one. Never say never. Okay, let's do some Spassky. Yeah, I just had a few hours ago I had an interview with Malcolm Payne, and this is the ECF Chess podcast. And I don't know, like I thought my interviewing skills were pretty horrendous, but at the same time I think it ended up being a good discussion and productive call. So you guys will get to see it on Friday, and yeah, hopefully you learn something new. Like I think this podcast episode, it took me way too long to edit. I'm gonna have to speed up, but yeah, should be well worth your guys' time. Right, so we've got queen, rook, rook, bishop, and 6 pawns against queen, rook, rook, bishop, and 5 pawns. Really, really weird stuff going on with these rooks. Queen is sticky square, bishop is sticky square. Loose piece, loose piece, loose piece. Some X-ray pressure over here, maybe some X-ray pressure to back rank. Opposite colored bishops. We have a window on a light square. They also have a window on a dark square. Okay, fine. So, what checks do we have? Got check, 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 check. What captures do we have? We got capture on F2, capture here. Also got captures on E3. Also capture on A2. And then what about threats in this position? Maybe C5? Potentially G5, which looks horrendous. Maybe this? I think that's a good place to start. So let's have a look at all of these. So let's look at our checks first. If we take on F2, I just take back. I think also one other thing I need to fix with my speech is just the level of like umming and erring. And I'm sorry to break that glass window for people who don't notice it, because it's one of those things that once you notice it, then it's hard to forget about. And for many years, I've had the bliss of not noticing it for myself. And lucky thing is with editing, you can edit out the ums and ahs, so it's fine. But in the actual interview itself, it's like horrendous, right? And normally I'm not bothered enough to edit these out, but I think it is is an issue. And the less confident I am with a conversation, the more umming and erring there is. And I know, like, there we go again. It's gonna be really tough. Like maybe I can try to cut it out this stream and start practicing, but you really have to put in some work. And it's basically when your brain is stalling and you fill in the space. And for some people, you can just kind of fill in that space with silence, but other people you kind of have to fill the space in with something. And for myself, I don't even find it such a big deal, because like I feel like the intonation of the or is in line with whatever I'm saying, so it doesn't sound so jarring. But once it gets pointed out to me, then it's like something that's like really hard to look past. So I'll be trying to practice. Okay. Let's get back to looking at this. So Yeah, all of the checks are horrendous. What about the captures? We do have a way to win a pawn. Rook takes a2, rook takes, and queen check. Picks up a pawn. And given that we're already one pawn, that looks pretty good, because I mean our king is actually feeling pretty safe. I mean rook a2, queen b1, king h2, takes, and then rook... Oh no, there's a bishop, so... We at least win a pawn. What about the rest of our captures? What about this one? Pawn takes, is there any follow-up? Yeah, I think this is the best move we've got. No annoying in between moves either. Okay, nice easy one actually. Welcome, Degenerate Squad, unless you're living in a different country, in which case, perfectly reasonable to see you here. So, welcome Bob, welcome Jan, welcome Manmei, good to see you, and welcome Frizz. Why are we streaming at midnight? Well, there's a bigger... there's a bigger... We're streaming at midnight because your boy has too many commitments during the day, and because we... stick to this schedule religiously, then we end up streaming at 11:59 to stick to schedule. So that is why we are here. Did everyone else get it? Looks like everyone else got rook a2. That looks pretty good. Aside from Jan, who said take on e3, trust, and then went with c5. Yikes. Need to be careful about bishop takes h6 counterplay. Maybe. Oh, it does actually mention bishop takes h6. Black could play either queen b1, which I guess was played, or g takes h6 and bishop f5. That's quite nice. And here of rook h4. What's the defensive rook h4 instead of queen f6? I guess we have to play like f6 or something? Is f6 forced? I mean, why the hell is rook h4 not the main move here? Oh, because it... Ah, okay, so f6 I would have got checkmated in 4. I mean, this is why screw this kind of chess. I mean, I guess I actually have no excuse. I mean, bishop takes h6 could happen in any position. Oh, it's horrendous. But yeah, I love this from Axel Smith, how he will put queen f6 as the top line just because it's the top engine move, because he hasn't bothered to even look 1 second at the position to see that rook h4 is the most natural move. But okay, fine, queen takes b2. I don't see captures, so of course I missed this move. Fine. Yeah, and queen g5, just bishop g6, I assume. Yeah, okay, fine. I actually think, like, when I see a piece, like, on b2, I don't consider it as a move. I guess maybe the rook is controlling it, but I just don't look at captures. It's just like... It's like a brick wall in the way, and I can't capture the brick wall. It's just brain damage, put it mildly. Okay, let's move on. Oh wow, Endgame Strategy got a chessbook course. That's cool. Yeah, fantastic book. So you'll learn a lot from it. Frizz. Hurting your chess more than improving it. I mean, maybe it would hurt your blitz slightly, because you'd need to end up thinking more. But I don't see how it could ruin your chess. Good evening, Faz. Welcome. Okay. Yeah, to be fair, Jan, actually, I should give you a shout out for spotting this bishop takes h6, queen 6, rook h4. I also agree that we die. No one sees queen takes b2. Right. Okay, let's keep going. So Spraga against Spassky, white to play. Also, I just want to share a random story. So I saw like some Instagram reel today where it was showing like this guy vlogging his experience of staying in the cheapest hotel in central London, which is like a capsule hotel, and it's like super modern inside, and like, you know, there's only enough space for literally a bed, and you literally open up your bed like a freaking garage, and it feels like a dog kennel where they're like you know, hundreds of beds all tucked next to each other, and you just open your little door and you like squeeze in and you close it. But I was thinking, like, when I was watching this video, I was like, you know what, I'd do it, like 20 quid a night in central London for, you know, a very compact, you know, what's the right word? Modern kind of aesthetic, right? To this institute where you can just sleep and spend the night. And I started to look at the comments, and someone mentioned how the fact that you can, how on earth are the cleaners supposed to clean those pods properly? Because there's hardly enough space to like get in there and clean. And second of all, someone gave some experience of how they experienced like bed bugs or something from one of these capsules. And I was just like, man, like, that is why there are certain things in the East that could not just be replicated in the West, because the West are just way too nasty to allow those things in the East to like prosper, right? I mean, like in Japan, capsule hotels are everywhere. And of course they're highly regulated, and of course they're highly cleaned, and you know, there would never ever be a case of bed bugs. But in London, it's just like, I was like, oh, this looks so good. And the more I was reading, the more I was like, just I don't know, man. Maybe I'll still try it. Maybe I'll still try it. What do you guys think? Should I try these bed bug ridden capsule hotels? Yeah, I didn't really trust it. I mean, in Japan, if you hired a cleaner to clean it, like, they would take pride and care in their work and do a good job. If you hire a cleaner in London to clean these beds, they ain't trying. They ain't trying. Oh god. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to London tomorrow. Luckily, we'll have a place to stay instead of having to resort to some budget solution. But yeah, okay, so let's think. Queen rook rook knight against queen rook rook bishop. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. 2 pawns down. Right, what are we doing? So our king is unbelievably exposed, but somehow our queen is covering these two squares. Our queen is also being attacked. Bishop is a bit out of play. It's also loose. This is actually a checkmate threat. So probably if this is a blitz game, I just take the rook and just pray. If they take, then I just play queen b2 and just hope. And if they play like queen takes, then I don't know, I'd probably try and block or something. Maybe there's better than block. Maybe just king b1 is actually doing the job right. If they can't even check that. If they check on b4, then I can block now, and then there's no follow-up check. I don't know. This would be instinct. But do I have anything better? What about rook takes h7? Okay, see, I'm calculating like an idiot again. Let's start with forcing moves. Have we looked at all the X-rays as well? All the pressures? Pretty much. Okay, so what about our checks? Got rook h7, rook f8, and queen g7, queen g8. Okay, let's look at these first. Rook h7, king h7, rook f7. If they go to the corner, then I go queen h4 and mate. So rook h7, king h7. Rook f7, king h6. I can go queen h4, king g6. Queen f6, king h5, rook h7, king g4. Rook h4 is mate. Okay. So actually rook h7 is just winning on the spot. Let's just double check I didn't miss anything. That's just force mate, so we can play it. Did I get the right line? Queen h4, this is what I said, right? Oh, rook h4 is also checkmate. Definitely also checkmate. And what is this? Oh, so this is actually what was played at the game. So my guy Spraggart played a slower checkmate. Rook h7, king h7, rook f7, king h6, queen h4, king g6, queen f6, king h5, rook h7, rook h4. Very nice, Bob B. And I'm glad you also mentioned rook h4 to finish instead of queen h4, because rook h4 is much more natural and not just looking at what the top engine line says. And I can bet your bottom dollar that queen h4 is going to appear above rook h4. Oh. Okay, never mind. On Axel Smith's engine, I'm sure queen h4 was on his engine. I wonder actually how was my my instinct, my scaredy cat instinct of just taking the rook. Okay, it's not lost, but why is this not winning? Because rook c3, Jesus Christ. I guess that's the threat. How is this not winning? Right. And I guess the problem is you can never give a check because then they block and do a discovered check, so. Terrifying. The type of guy to only read all the 1-star reviews and all the 5-star reviews. That's a very fair point. I should probably actually check the reviews of the place rather than just read some online comments. I also read an absolutely diabolical comment about the capsule bed, because you can actually you can lock the capsule bed from the inside, but you can also put a padlock on the outside so that if you leave your bed during the day and you need to come back to it because you've left some belongings in there, you can leave a padlock on the outside. But someone in the comments said, what if you padlock someone in the capsule while they're sleeping? so you just padlock some random person and then they can't get out. And it's like, even if, let's say, you could contact like management, and I mean, first of all, given how internet is in the UK, you know, there might be signal problems and you just can't contact anyone. Also, if you hear someone screaming and shouting, the average Londoner's not going to help you. And third of all, if someone put their own padlock, then you're just screwed. So whoever commented that is an absolute menace. And I hope I never run into them. Right, so Faz and Josh actually found the different checkmate. I didn't even see what the mate was. Rook f6. Yeah, I don't know. Rook f6 feels so much less natural than queen h4. But okay. Fair enough. 2 a.m. for me, but can still see something. Maybe that's the correlation. If you go past midnight, then you see this line. But then again, no. Josh and Faz are also past midnight, so fair enough. What's man's beef with Axel Smith? It's just a trash book. It's just a trash book. Every other puzzle genuinely has trash. Just overflowing with trash. Check rook h7, king h7, queen h3. Okay, sure thing. This says also mating, according to Axel Smith. Surprisingly, I mean, Axel Smith actually did a good job with analysing this one. I mean, not perfect, but I can't really complain. Queen here. Yeah, and I assume that's just mate. I mean, you assume correctly. Mate in 11. Fair enough. You can see this long line. Makes sense. It's queen and rook against nothing, so I think it's fair to trust that intuition. You would hope that the pods would be periodically checked, but you would hope that trains are on time and trains aren't ridiculously expensive. You'd hope, you know, the list can go on, right? I don't have hope in for British society. So, yeah, I don't know. But hey, maybe I'll try it anyway. As Jan said, I should just check the reviews, see if I'm, you know, being way too harsh or not. Okay, Portish against Spassky. Queen Rook Bishop Knight. Queen Rook Bishop Knight. I actually have to catch a train tomorrow morning, so that's gonna be fun. Oh, it's so annoying. I need to get an actual something for my phone. Okay, that's actually too close to the board. I don't want to accidentally see chat. Okay, stay. Okay. Right, so phone moved again. I'm basically balancing it on a light shade. Okay, that'll do. It's gonna move again. I can feel it. Anyway, Queen Rook Bishop Knight against Queen Rook Bishop Knight. 1 pawn up. Somehow God Awful Instinct is Bishop E5. I don't even know what kind of instinct that is. That just shows how capped we are. Right. I mean, at least knight, and it's not even E5. It's D4. It's just awful, isn't it? Right. Okay. Rather than just come up with garbage candidate moves, let's do this methodically. So their king has some back rank issues because of a London bishop. Our king is fairly exposed on these light squares. Maybe some back rank check stuff one day. Pressure on our queen, pressure on the rook, pressure on the knight, open diagonal, pressure on a1. Knight is only defended by queen. Rook is only defended by queen. Bishop is a ninja. Defended, loose. So these pieces are also only defended by the queen. So for instance, rook a2 is kind of cute, right? If queen takes, then mate. And do we have some kind of follow-up if they do this? Probably not. Just a trade. We are a pawn up there though, so maybe we're open to it, but okay, let's go methodically. So what checks do we have? What captures do we have? What threats do we have? Rook a2 was a threat. Here's kind of a threat. I don't even know. That probably is some kind of terrible threat. So okay, let's begin with our checks. If we take, they take, and we cry. There is no rook a1 even, there's knight a1. So what captures, got this capture, they just take. This capture, they just take. Which we already looked at. Okay, threats rook a2 is the only clever idea I can see. And then if we take, they take. And then if they take. Oh no, they can't take because then we actually have... Wait, where is our rook? We're saying rook e2, rook takes, rook takes? Yeah, they cannot take on c5 because of the mate. So then we stay a pawn up and probably that's the best we've got because what happens if we just move our queen? We do have a safe square. But I guess they can take the pawn and then they can claim some kind of advantage. Any other moves that we're missing? I mean, yeah, my garbage moves, but let's have a look at these. So what if they just take with the pawn? I guess we try and take back for the pawn. Then this is dropping as well. Yeah, I don't trust that 1 second. Surely not. And then somehow there's just that tiny inty bit of feeling that maybe after bishop takes, can we just push? Is the knight actually loose? I guess they've got queen b1 to keep tabs on it. It's just got to be wrong. It's got to be garbage. Got some long-term potential because you might even pick up this pawn as well. But Knight d4. Knight d4 cannot be good. It just cannot be good. I refuse to believe it's good. Knight d4, pawn takes. Pawn takes. It's got to be bad. I don't believe in it. I can't refute it, but I just don't believe in it. We have 2 pawns for the piece of that position because we were a pawn up. Those pawns are strong. Why am I even considering this? But why is it not clear? Okay, bishop takes over only 1 pawn. We push, they push. We take, so we're 2 pawns. It looks strong, you know. It looks strong. Oh my god. The issue is we're not even statically worse, so why are we trying to engage in such dynamic play? Like, is this really that bad? Like, we keep our knight keeping tabs of these squares, our pawn is threatening to push. Let's say they just play bishop d3 to make a window. Then we just start pushing and we've got a great position. Like, why are we even risking? So, okay, let's just play rook a2. Yeah, okay, let's find out how bad this line is. Black's a pawn up, but cannot allow queen c4. Oh, queen c4. Didn't see that. I just thought knight takes c5 was enough. Which I think it should be. So let's have a look. Okay. I'm glad we came to our senses. And this is why. Oh, okay. Oh, bishop d4, second best move. Yo, I'm not crazy, man. I'm not crazy. So that's actually some legit intuition, which I thought was ridiculous. Queen b7. If knight takes. Okay, knight takes is also winning. Okay, fine. So I'm not tripping. And rook a2 is correct. And the point is that they just play bishop g3 or something. My idea was just push c4, which is much better. Yeah, okay. Fine, knight c5 is kind of a good move, but the point is this is winning. But yeah, knight d4 is not insane. But it is insane if you have rook a2, so I'm glad I didn't play it. Bishop takes, I guess, is just a bad line. Queen b1. Yeah, still gives white a slight edge because they've got the extra piece. Which is actually, if you remember the game I showed in an angry rant the other day, I actually had the potential for such a position. To stave a piece up, and I got it wrong. I actually want to check with an engine because I haven't had the time to look with an engine yet. But let's have a quick look. I just want to see this one position, and then we'll get back to training. Yeah, it was this position where I got too fancy. Let me quickly change the overlay. Is this gonna block the board? No. It was this position here where basically I was playing too ambitiously and went for king g7 because I thought this was the best move. But I could have just played it simply and exchanged into this. Go on, let me actually. I think I've solved the exercises for my coach's positions for this game. I think. So let's have a look. Oh wow, there are lots of moves here. Knight d5 is somehow working as well. I don't get how knight d5 works. Why is knight d5? Bishop takes not a thing? And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you never... The hell is this? Rook e4. Oh, and you're utilizing all of this? Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, this is why you do not look at an engine during your tournament, because you'll just get too much tilt. Too many bad emotions. Yeah, so... Wow, king g7 wasn't even completely wrong. That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh, an engine's even coming around to it. That's wild. Okay, I'm gonna have to investigate this a bit further, but rook b3, bishop b3. Yeah, I could not convince myself to play this position. I just didn't feel like it was completely busted for my opponent. So maybe actually, if someone fancies playing right now, we can have a quick training game of this position. I'll play as black. We'll just play 3+2 and see if I can win this position against you. Because, yeah, I feel like I need to try this. And while chat is responding to that, let me just quickly see. So a5 was really good. Queen a5 was needed. And e6 I thought was super good. Because queen b2 I've got 98, so e6 is wrong. I've got knight takes e6. Why? Why can I not see this? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, God. And this is why I can't beat 2200s, because I actually just have no tactical ability. That's actually bollocks. So actually this was all fine. And he actually didn't have anything here. So I'd seen queen b2 and I thought it didn't work. That's... Because I had queen b2, knight e8, and here I had f6. Which is actually even, like, a better engine line than e6. I just completely missed. It's just such an easy, simplifying move. And it's just a forcing move as well. It's just a capture, and I had time on my clock. I just can't look at forcing moves. It's just so... If it's not an intuitive forcing move, I just can't look at it. It's actually tragic. Starting your prep already, Faz, that's ridiculous. The fixture's in January. Like, brother, chill. Okay, Faz, let me challenge you in this position. But I'm so upset. Oh my god, knight takes e6. Knight takes e6. Knight takes e6. What if queen b2? Knight d4, and what if here? How is c takes d4 working? And rook takes b3 is utterly insane to allow this. Okay, fine. And we can also just do this, apparently. And just go king g8 and allow knight f6. What is this? King f8, knight h7, and then there's just no mate. Jesus Christ. How do you look at this position and be like, oh yeah, we're chilling with king g8? That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, e6 is practically best. I think that's a fair comment, yeah. I mean, actually, knight takes e6 is not as clear as I thought. I mean, knight takes e6 is clear if you just, like, literally just take back the pawn and just lose everything. And just be a rook down. Clean rook down, I guess. Is it even clean? Is it even clean? Rook d1, queen d1, bishop takes. And what about a move like e7? Oh, and we just casually just defend. Fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's too hard. It's just too hard, isn't it? It's too hard. Okay, let me send the challenge. Wait, not from this position. I actually put it up as a training position already. This one, okay. So black is better. Let's see if I can convert against Faz. Faznaz 83, got it. I will play as black. Faznaz. Oh, we just did it unlimited. Sorry. Let me... Real time 3+2. This should be quite entertaining. NM Faznaz 83, let's go. Let's go. You saw e7 as well, Jan. Fair enough. Okay. Right. I seem to remember rook f1 was top move, but I think this makes a lot of sense as well, basically playing for f5. Maybe the one drawback is I can centralize my queen. And I realize I'm cheating a bit by taking my time here, but yeah, let's play the centralizing queen move. That makes most sense. I don't know why I thought this would be too difficult to convert. This is the problem with just playing too ambitiously. Because now I see it actually on the board. It feels really winning. I mean, the knight and rook are so well coordinated. Right. That does make a lot of sense. What pieces do we actually want to trade? Probably with the knight, we actually want to keep the queens on. I don't know. I am tempted to try and activate the rook. Yeah, let's activate it. My knight is still covering the square. So I think we can activate it. And the thing is, 3+2 feels like a crazy amount of time, and during the game, you know, I could have had like 5 minutes plus 30 seconds a move, which is long, but I just didn't have confidence. I don't know why. So now we can actually trade off the queens. The question is, do we want to? I mean, trade off the rooks. That was smart from Faz to avoid the back rank. I think we do want the rook stop. That makes most principled sense to me, so let's do that. Right. Okay, so that stops me winning the pawn. Let's just take it. I guess we want to save this. That's my feeling. We can also save it by taking here. But then they can get behind. See, this is how I lose these games. It's actually crazy. I feel like we can't allow this. That's the issue. Can't allow it. Probably queen here to stay on this diagonal makes most sense. So I think we have to play this. Give up the pawn and just say that, yes, this pawn is going to run, but we're going to have counterplay on white's king. Okay. And now a queen trade is good for me as well. And we can use that fact to kind of, you know, bully the opponent's queen to make improvements for our pieces. But I'm glad to see it's not been completely trivial. Like, it still requires some technique. Okay, let's get off the back rank. Trying to work out what happens if Faz just starts pushing this pawn. What's my fastest road to good counterplay? The check was rubbish. I agree. I feel a lot more snug with my king. If I was Faz, I know which move I'd play, but actually I kind of see some problems with it, so yeah. That was the move, because I think I'm threatening like check and knight takes f4, knight e2 stuff, so I think queen d4 was my thoughts. That has to be winning. That has to be winning the queen trade. I guess I could have gone check and then knight in and stuff. So oh my god, is it not clearly winning for me? Oh shit. Oh dear. Well, now his king's gonna get active. Wow, so I can't trade the queens. Oh man. I really thought that I could. And as soon as it came on the board, I started to realize I can't. Interesting. If I was Faz, I 100% would have brought in the king, not start with the pawn. Okay, we gotta go all in. And this is how I lose. This is actually how I lose. I'm gonna try and grab it with my king and then get back in time, but his king gets very active. There. Okay, so at least I can get in the square of the pawn. And then probably I need a very clutch like knight e7. Or maybe knight here is smarter. Hit the pawn as well. Okay, let's hit the pawn as well and cover the square. I guess I have to take. It's very unfortunate. So I guess I had some check as well. He's going for it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck me. Actually, fuck me. Fuck. Oh my god. This is exactly what would have happened against 2200. I actually know it. I knew it. GG, Faz. Fuck my life. I actually thought that trading the queens would just be a simple win. But I'm completely wrong. In this position, what I should just play is this then. I should just play this check and then play knight here and knight here. I mean, I just thought trading queens would be easy. Knight f8, king e7, h7 saves. When was this? Oh, no way does this save. Well, what are you saying? What do you mean h7? There's a pawn on h7, no? Yeah, I was shocked with the queen trade offered, yeah. A bigger joker than you, Jan? I know. I really am. Okay, no, yeah, the knight is trapped, right? So it's just over. But that's crazy. And then I'm even lost after this moment. I mean, I basically went all in. Like, just stupid. When you're on 4 seconds, you don't go all in like that. You should just trade the pawns and accept that it's a draw. I just wanted to win. Oh, which is exactly how you lose. I'm so bad at, like, you know, just... Maybe in a classical game, I would just pussy out. which people give me stick for, but this is exactly why it needs to be done. So, I played this part pretty well. And just, yeah, here, just wrong conclusion. I just need to keep this on and knight d4. I saw this as well. I just thought the queen trade was easier. Damn. Oh man, That was a good game. That was a good game. I needed that. I needed that. We were thinking if knight takes f4 instead of queen takes d7 was just as good in this position. Oh, that even threatens checkmate. Ha. Yeah, no. Knight takes f4 looks winning, right? Queen b7. I actually can't watch. I can't watch. And this is why you will never beat like a 2400 tactical genius if you are not up to par with tactics, because they'll just find queen b7 and then your life will be over. I remember when I used to play more ambitious chess, I remember playing the most beautiful wing gambit game against this like 2250 junior. I was completely cooking him, and he found, honest to God, the most ridiculous defensive like line. And when you look on Engine, everything is winning except for this one line, which is better for black. It was crazy. It was like +4 for me, and there's one single line which was like -3, and all the moves were like the most ridiculous moves, and he found everything. And I was just like, no, this is never happening again. And I actually give up. I actually give up playing this style of chess. Queen b7. Unbelievable. What a move. What a move. And for those that don't understand, the point is that when they queen king g7, there's queen f6 and they pick up the knight. That's the point. Yeah, cool Axel Swift to put it in the beginner puzzles. He actually would, though. He actually would. You just switch on his engine and chuck it in. Damn. Just one blunder and two blunders. And that's all there is. Well, that was fun. Let's get back to our Woodpecker training. Actually, before I move on, I just closed the tabs. I have 2 more test positions to play. So you know what? While we're at it, if you want to go again, Faz, let me see my other test positions. I don't know if you're too tired. If you're too tired, then I'll just continue with Woodpecker. But I had 2 more training positions for my games. This was another one where I offered a draw with the white pieces in this position against the 2200. And a friend of mine who was looking at the games with me said it was criminal to offer the draw, and I just said, well, I believe it's a draw, and I believe if I play this on, the black player might outplay me and beat me. So I guess this would be a good game to play out as well, just to see, does Faz find a way to try and swindle me in this position, or is it really impossible and this position is completely good for white? Indeed, criminal to offer a draw? I disagree. I think my pawns are dropping. And I think that we can easily get a position where I can choke. So, yeah. I wanted f5 instead of e6, but I saw a way for him to draw. f5 instead of e6. I don't remember. I don't remember anymore. You know what? Actually, let me make sure I save this game to the study. This is really good. Sure, Contrivus? Okay. Let's see if I get roasted by Faz again. This will be good content. So I want to play with white because I'm trying to prove the point that I can choke this. But of course I'm going to try not to choke this. Okay, so black's turn to play. I am currently 2 pawns up, but my pawns are dropping like flies. Of course there are some tricks, right? I mean, you know, bishop takes e5, bishop takes c3, there's rook b8, rook c8, and I pick up the bishop. But of course my 2200 opponent's going to see that. So yeah. So I guess we'll start with g3. I mean, that surely has to be the most logical move. There's no rook a2. There's no bishop takes c3. But I think I was worried about maybe like rook h1 or something and just bullshit. If he plays rook h1, I actually don't know what I'm doing. Like, I probably try and activate my king one way or another if I'm trying to play for the win. And then it's like, I could lose. Bishop c7, so Faz actually fears the position. It's crazy. I guess he hasn't had as much time to think about it, in fairness. So, what do I want to do with these pawns? Maybe I actually want to retreat my rook so that I can cover h2. Safe and sound. Maybe let's try that? I mean, let's try it. Because I don't see a way to activate my rook with this setup. That's the issue. I mean, maybe actually I can try come around this way. That might be a better try. I do have one check before moving my bishop if I prefer the king to be on this side, but do I? Do I want the king near these pawns? I've also got this attack, which might gain me a tempo. I think I do want that somehow. Oh my god, I'm just seeing nightmares of like somehow getting my bishop trapped. Oh my god, okay, after this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you a game where I lost the most unlosable position to an Indian 2200, back when I was actually trying to push these positions. I just got flashbacks. Holy crap. That, I genuinely was distraught after that one. I can't wait to show you. Like you don't understand the wars I've been through. You don't understand the shell shock I've experienced. Like, yeah, let me show you this game after. Let me make a new study just to remind me. I'll just write Parachin. Just so I don't forget. We'll have a look. It's utterly unbelievable. God, just thinking back to it was awful. I used to push positions. I'm telling you. I used to try and play for the win against 2200s. Right, let's focus on winning this. Come on. So rook f2 is what I want. Something like this. I'm really surprised to see Faz more struggling. That does not make any English sense. I guess he's trying to trade off these pawns. It's a very good idea. Very smart player. Right, let's just activate our rook. My two brain cells are trying their best. Wow, he's gonna trade into this endgame of pawn down. You've got to be kidding me. No way. Ain't no way. I can push this then. What is he doing? Oh, we have opposite colored bishops. Fuck. Oh, I thought we had same colored bishops. I actually suck at this game. Okay, well at least I can't lose this, right? At least I can't lose this. Damn, I forgot we had opposite colored bishops. I thought we were just same color and I can try grind this. Ah, stupid child. I don't know what I'm doing with this plan, actually. Alright, let's stick with it. I don't know. G4 would be playing for the win, which I would respect. I guess I can also respect this. Is there any way we can push for the win in this kind of position? Maybe c4 is interesting, actually. Because if king d6, then... so that's why he puts his king in front first. But then I can push. Yeah, let's push again. Let's cover these squares. Right. And this is a fortress, huh? That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, and nothing I can do to try and push this. Fair. No, fair play, Faz. Nice hold, and silly of me to trade rooks. Apparently we played a perfect game, but I guess everything was equal, and that doesn't necessarily mean our moves were best. Like, probably 2700 would play completely different equal moves that were much more testing than us. But yeah, no, rook takes was just stupid. Just stupid. I forgot we had opposite colored bishops. If I weren't down for a pawn, I'd definitely play for a win. Yeah, good game. Yeah. But yeah, no, let me okay, so Faz, during that, I had flashbacks. When I played this move bishop g8, I had flashbacks to a game I played against a 2200 Indian where I was completely cooking them, and then I ended up losing. And it is, honest to God, one of the most horrific games of my life. Do I even have it? Do I even have it here? I really want to show it. It is, honest to God, the most awful thing ever. Okay, if it's not on Ponziani Ghost, then I will. Then I will actually input the game. Is it this one? No, it's not that Parachin. I played Parachin like 3 times. This could be this Parachin. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's this one. It's this one. Alright, let me... Okay, yeah, let me go back. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's not have any spoilers. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you a masterclass of how to lose a position where it's unlosable. It's unlosable. And the only way you lose this is because you actually try and play for the win. So, what happened in this game? Yeah, no, I reached this position, and my whole plan was to try and Zugzwang her. Or him. Her? I think it was her. Yeah, Zugzwang her into not being able to protect the e5 pawn. But I thought I still had a slight advantage here, which is why I was pushing, right? Because I felt like, sure, these are on dark squares, but how do you attack b4? How do you attack h2? It's difficult, right? Whereas this pawn, I can potentially attack. So I thought I was being really clever with trying to get my bishop in. And then I did this break or something. But now when I look at it, that looks way too risky, because now I've put my pawn on a dark square. And then g5 came. And then I'm suddenly like, wait, am I actually playing to lose this? And it's like, hold up, my bishop has no squares. And then I think this position is completely lost. And to think that I had like I had this position against the isolated pawn with the bishop pair, and yeah, I played this on. I played this on trying to win it. I guess this is a little bit different because, but actually no. In my game with UFAS, I don't think you have to stay down a pawn after g3. I thought rook h1 is a move. Yeah, I don't know if you missed this, but I don't know what I'm doing after rook h1. This was the move that I was scared of. Why I felt like I'm just gonna take a draw and offer a draw because I don't know what to do. I guess if I really want to draw at this point, maybe I can just play check and then play rook here and try and threaten. No, but then you can play king f8 and you can see it's already becoming black's better. You know what I mean? It's just like, I can lose this. I can actually lose this. The fact that I was able to lose this, right? It means that I can lose any position. I can't believe I lost about 2200. I was so salty. Genuinely just was baffled. Absolutely baffled. The word baffled hasn't come into my head in around 10 years. And that's how that position made me feel. Rook h1, like... yeah, probably king f3 is what I would play. And it's just not necessarily easy. I can lose this. How does bishop d6 look when the bishop was on c7? Okay, let's have a look. Let's check with this out with engine as well. So, apparently this is all fine in terms of trying to push. But of course, it's getting less and less fine. And this is apparently still fine. And this is where it gets less fine. Yeah, and then I'm already in only move territory. I need to find like king a4, like which I didn't see somehow. I see. Rook h1, you wouldn't have found... yeah, I've got more context of the position, so that's fair. Faz. Yeah, the thing is, Josh, it's a fine line to know when to stop trying. And I think for me, like, you know, if I could suddenly back out at this moment and say, yo, okay, my bad, I shouldn't have tried, let me back out. It's already too late. Now I'm already fighting. And it's like, if you avoid the fight at this point, well then, yeah, you can avoid the trouble. But if you play for the win and you get too invested in playing for the win, you might not be able to turn back. And the problem is that at a certain level, your opponents will find resources that are completely on a different planet to you. I feel like most people who try to grind a win in this position or this position against Magnus Carlsen will end up losing. I genuinely think so, no matter how equal the position is. I think most people would end up losing it. Because Magnus will find some trick and some way to cause you to go wrong. Yes, okay, let's discuss the bishop takes c3. Okay, my phone is moving around again. Yeah, no, bishop takes c3. The problem is simpler than that. It's just rook c1 and then check. But wait, then there's king here. So actually, maybe I'm not even correct about all of this. So what did Faz say? So in this position, bishop takes c3. Have to spot rook d7. Oh wait, rook d7. King e8. What is this? Rook c7? Oh, but bishop a5 is defending. Okay, fine. You know what? I actually saw this in the game. I saw this in the game, I think. But I didn't see bishop a5 either. Yeah, okay, that's very nice. Jesus. Yuck, yuck. Instead of bishop g8, is this a different... I don't know, we're talking about two different games at the same time, so I'm getting confused. Instead of bishop g8 here, oh right, was rook d2, king e8, rook d7. I would assume bishop d6 is my instinct. Oh, rook e6, here, fine. Yeah, that's probably... Oh, but then there's check and then it's equal, but this pawn seems... I don't know, does it seem to be better? My instinct is that it's better, but... Maybe we actually want the pawns to be all together so then the king can kind of support everyone as they try and make progress? I really don't know. But yeah, if bishop d6 was my instinct... And then king f8. King f8, apparently there's some slight pull. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, at this moment, this is the last chance I can really offer a draw, I think, to a 2200 and for them to accept it. Because they still feel a little bit of pressure. And they're going to be like, okay, I don't like that pressure. I want the draw. But as soon as the position actually becomes drawish, I've lost my chance to offer a draw. Because then they're going to be like, well, if it's just drawn and it's like equal chances for both sides, I'm going to push this to death and try and beat my opponent. And you've got to realize that they have an extra 200 points from somewhere, right? Like, these players are objectively better, and you have to respect that in some ways. At least if you're a practical player, which I am. Of course, if you're just like a purist and you just want to try and play the best moves every game, fine. But if I was a purist, I would be 100 elo lower than I am now. Okay, I've convinced you that a draw wasn't a bad call. Amazing, amazing. Like, I'm really doing this just to convince myself. I'm not trying to change any of you and how you play your chess. I'm just trying to understand how I should play my chess. And what I'm trying to say is that I used to play very ambitiously, try and fight for every win, fight for every half point. And more often than not, I was falling short because I simply am not good enough at chess. And that is the harsh reality. And the problem is, even if I work hard and stream 3 times a week, which clearly, you know, I'm getting distracted. But okay, we're having constructive chess training as well, like this. But my point is that no matter how much training you do, there will be people who are more talented or have put in more work or have GM coaches or have started when they were 5 years old or whatever the reason is. They will just be better at chess than you. And the one way you can know if they're better than chess at you is if they have a significant rating plus over you. Because that had to come from somewhere. Like, of course, there might be some anomalies where, you know, the occasional 2200 is actually going to be a worse player than me. But on average, they're going to be stronger. Yeah, I don't agree, Jan. I am not 2300 strength. I'm not 2300 FIDE. A 2300 FIDE in this day and age who actually gets 2300 FIDE now. I'm not talking about like 20 years ago. If you got 2300 FIDE 20 years ago and just been camping on 2300, you're not a 2300 strength now. A 2300 strength player does not make that queen trade against Faz, that other game. Never. I have not read the full endgame strategy, but I've read the abridged version, which is in the Shereshevsky method. Like, this book, the Shereshevsky method, is 3 Shereshevsky books in one, and it has the same chapters as Endgame Strategy for part 2. So Endgame Strategy is part 2 of the book, and it has the same chapters, but it doesn't have every example. So it kind of picks like the best examples from each chapter to showcase. I think that if you have enough confidence in your own endgame technique, it doesn't matter if I'm playing Magnus. I have the confidence to brute force a draw against top players. It's not about confidence, it's about skill. If you have the skill to brute force a draw against top players, then fine, you can do it. But I know for a fact that I don't have that skill. So that's all it comes down to. I mean, yeah, of course. If I feel like I am playing at a high enough level where the 2200s is not someone I feel intimidated by, then fine. Of course I can push this. And that's why, like, against a 2000 player I probably would. But you've got to draw the line somewhere, and me being the practical player probably draws the line around 2200 from personal experience of playing 2200s. But everyone has their line somewhere. I mean, if you had this position and Magnus Carlsen offers you a draw, I think 99.99999% of people just take it. Because it's Magnus, right? And then you can go a bit lower, right? You can say if a 2700 offered you a draw in this position, you would take it. If a 2600 offered you a draw, you would take it. If a 2500 offered you a draw, and you can keep going down until you reach that point where you have this feeling of they're the better player. Yeah, I don't think there's like any kind of mathematical proof. I mean, I think Faz is just saying, like, from his personal experience of his grinding abilities, he reckons he can chance a grind against a certain strong player. But having said that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Faz, but you don't have as much classical FIDE experience as I do. So I would be really curious if you go to Parachin and you play a 9-round open and you play some 2200 Indians and you try and push at all costs against them when you're potentially fatigued from a long tournament and these guys are just on absolute crack in terms of their, like, ability to just calculate consistently. I would be very curious to see if it never goes wrong. That's all I would say, because I think I'm speaking from a place of wisdom, at least for myself. And yeah, this is I mean, this is why I'm gaining rating. I don't think I've suddenly become a much stronger player in the last 2-3 months compared to years ago. I think it's more like I'm just applying my knowledge, applying my wisdom in a way that gets results. That's why I'm almost crossing 2100 for the first time. Right, I see, Josh, about what you mean by mathematical there, but I still think, yeah, like, no matter how theoretical it is, I think it's much less relevant just practically what you experience and what you feel. Yeah, 2500 Blitz, 2500 Rapid, but are these coming from me grinding out actual 2200 FIDE players? Or is this coming from, beating 1900s who have high lead chess ratings? It's like there's a difference. Yeah, it depends on how much risk. And for me, the fact that I can lose this position means that there is no position I cannot lose, right? Because I can always overpush, I can always oversight, I can always miss some important detail because it's happened, right? It's not just doubt, it's reality. And I'm at peace with it. Like, I don't need to push every single position to try and win. Like, of course it hinders me in some ways, and of course, like, if I were to keep playing these out, then eventually I would improve at this. But it's just like, I don't feel like I need that in my life. Like, it's like trying to, like, optimize my strength too much at that point. Like, just take the draw. Just take the draw. Like, if they're higher rated than you by 200 points, take the draw. And if you're as good as them, you will get to 2200. And if you get to 2200, then you have earned the right to be playing these positions on like an equal. That is how I feel like I'm seeing it. So just find better moves, easier said than done, and only way to go up rating? I disagree. And I feel like I'm living proof. Miss studying chess endings that are aesthetically so pleasing. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to be when you're motivated enough to actually train your endings. Like it's been a long, long time since I've been there, and I feel like actually for my chess, I haven't really had the chess bug to actually train and study in quite a while. And I'd say that most of my emphasis has just been on like you know basically going to the gym, not changing my sets, not changing my reps, not changing my weights, not maintenance, just maintenance to achieve the bare minimum. And in a way, I feel like that's fine because I actually feel like the current set of cogs that are working in my head are actually good enough to push me higher. I just need to make sure those cogs are working. So I don't actually need to go the extra mile to study more for me to, get results right now. But I do hope, and it will happen at some point, that I will have the time and space to actually, you know, um, yeah, just study chess for the love of the game, and I think it will happen. Yeah, Josh, you're saying the exact same comment as I am. I just don't have the mental space for it right now. But if I get a career break, I'll come back to it. Exactly. Yeah, like I just don't have the mental space for it. I still got calculation exercises from my tournament still to complete. Oh my god! While we're on this topic, let me just show you the worst move of the century from trying to play ambitiously. I had this position. I had this position against a 2250 Azerbaijanian junior. I'm actually curious what level Namen is now. I mean, I think she was a WIM or something at the time. And I played this move 94. Uh, and, I'd sacked an exchange. Because I was playing ambitiously back then. And I felt like I had a good position. This is actually my early days of playing the Gurganitza as well. Like, I sacked an exchange, felt like I had a good position. And in this position, after bishop takes g7, I started calculating some crazy, crazy lines. And rather than just take back the bishop on g7, which would be completely normal, completely fine, and I'd still have a good pressure, I decided to sack. And thank God I am no longer this player. Because I would never do this in a million years nowadays. And it's just dreadful. The whole line doesn't work, and I literally just lost a rook. Just, like, there were multiple lines that lost for me. And the only reason why I did it was because I saw, like, if king takes, then I have some win. But there were just so many. I think even king takes that it wasn't even winning. Okay, king takes fine. I have a draw. But in this position, like, I could just take back, and I'm still threatening knight f2. I'm still threatening all kinds of attacks. Like this position, the momentum is with me, and back then I would just make these horrific decisions, just completely childish decisions. So at the end of the day, endgames are not what costing me, just errors in like decision making and calculation, and that I think is what I've kind of worked on recently, and that is why my rating is improving a lot, I think. No, I was not a literal child back then. This was 2022 or 2023. Probably 2023. So what? A young adult. So a child, basically. A child. But yeah, no. We've made giant leaps. And I'm just noticing that I didn't have a timer on the stream, and I also have speedrunning to 2000 Blitz, which, speaking of which, I actually need to get back to. So let me make a note. I've already made a note of it. Perfect. That is perfect. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, I will call it a day there. But thank you so much, Faz, for playing these training games out with me, because this is exactly what I needed. And really good to see that Rook H1. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy. And a strong player will try and squeeze and try and squeeze and try and squeeze and try and swindle. And it can be rough. And yeah, very, very interesting to discuss all of this. So I wish you guys luck if you have any chess coming up. I have the London Chess Classic in a couple weeks, and I look forward to training hard for that. Time Wars there on the start, yeah, right. So I think Woodpecker still has it, yeah, and this one still has it, but not on all of them. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and see you guys on Friday. When am I gonna have time to stream on Friday? Maybe around midday. Maybe, just maybe. I'll get in a quick stream. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Okay, thanks, and see you around. Okay.